Welcome to Awakening You channel. If you appreciate what we do, please support us. Thank you. I am Ashtar. I come at this time, in this great time of change that you are on, the changes that are happening everywhere around you, and certainly within you. You are all feeling these changes more and more and more within you. The energy is flowing more and more freely within you, and you have adapted to the energies that have been coming in from those great planets of the solar system, through those great beings that ensoul those planets that have been bringing that energy to you from the great central sun of this universe, through all of the galactic central suns, all of those beings that ensoul those galaxy suns. Energy flowing down. Light waves flowing down. Gamma light waves flowing down, bringing you into the higher vibrations in the planet. Those gamma waves coming into the planet, raising the vibrational frequency to higher and higher vibrational frequency to the higher dimensions within this realm. And you have been adapting to these energies more and more so that you can take these energies. So that all around you that are losing their minds, feeling the fear, expressing the fear in many different ways, just as those of the dark forces want them to do. But you, those of you that know, those of you that have the eyes to see and the ears to hear, you know better to not feel the fear. To not feel the panic that others around are more and more beginning to do. For you know the way is open in front of you, even to those that feel the way is closing to them. But you are the ones, you are those ways howers. You are the ones that are paving the way forward, showing the way to all of those that are ready to also see and hear the truth as it is coming forward. For nothing, and no thing, can stop it at this time, even though they may continue to try, and they will, and they are. But all of their words of fear, words of death, words of sorrow are falling on deaf ears to those of you that will not hear them. And I, and all of those that are working here with you and through you all, beseech you now to continue to move forward step by step. Do not fall back. Do not allow the fears to come up within you. For there is certainly nothing to fear except fear itself. For in reality, in your new reality that is coming upon you more and more, and within you, there is nothing to fear. For fear is just but an expression that holds you down to the third-dimensional illusion. But you are moving beyond that illusionary veil. And for you, that veil no longer exists if you deem it to be so. But my friends, you are on the verge of a great many changes that are coming upon this world and upon you, not the least of which shall be our ships showing more and more within the sky, and more people looking up at those skies and seeing those ships, because their third eye is opening more and more to match to their physical eyes. And as more and more look to the skies and see our ships, those of the forces of darkness will not be able to do anything to stop the truth coming forward, the full disclosure coming forward. And it is coming forward. Soft disclosure has reached its end. You are about to see the full truth coming forward from many different sources. As I say again, you are on the verge of a great many changes to your world. I am Ashtar, and I leave you now in peace and love and oneness. And that you would more fully continue to connect with your higher God self, just as we did here in this expression in your meditation. One who serves question or answer, channeled by James McConnell, Om, Mani, Padme, Hum, Om, Mani, Padme, Hum, Hum, Hum. Greetings to you. One who serves here. And no Shoshana this time, but we will do what we can to muddle through here, and hopefully answer your questions as best as we can if you have questions. But first, we wish to say that was quite a message from the one, Ashtar. And there are messages that are going to come through from many different sources as we find it now more and more. And they are going to pick up in intensity, we will tell you. Because those times that you have been waiting for, wishing for, dreaming about, are upon you now. And you are indeed what has been called in the storm. It is not the storm coming any longer, you are in the storm now. It is raging all around you. But you, always you within that storm, within that eye of the storm, continue to be in that eye of the storm and let things revolve and rage around you, and be calm. Be calm within the storm, and know that all is at hand, and all is exactly as it needs to be for the greater plan to continue to work out in this realm. We are ready for your questions if you have them. You can, yes, unmute your phones now and we will do what we can to continue to be of service as we can hear. Guest, I have a question. OWS, yes? Guest, we have the first of the banks here in the United States have defaulted. I have heard that all the banking is mirrored with the quantum financial system. I am just wondering how we access this quantum financial system, if you know? OWS, you are correct in the term of mirroring. That is a wonderful way to put it. And we will say here that that was not the first bank to default. It is the first one to be known to do so. But there are others that are in that process now as we speak. And you are indeed going to experience the falling of the dominoes here as they go, one by one. We are not only speaking of the central banks, as you understand them, but the entire system is coming down. And as it comes down, there is another system ready to move in to replace it, that which you call the QFS, the quantum financial system is indeed ready to replace this. But there must first be those things that have to occur first to allow for the general population to be acquainted with this new system that you already know about. And we will say as far as preparation goes, everything that you are doing now, talking about now to prepare, is what you need to do. And do not have fear though, as Ashtar was pretty prominent in saying here. Do not feel the fear, do not experience fear, as the rest of the population around you will be experiencing that, as they go to their banks and find that their money is gone, that they cannot get it out of the banks. That is certainly coming. Because it must be the crash. And we speak fully of a crash that is imminent here as we can say. For imminent to us is different than your imminent, so you take from that which you can. But it is coming, certainly. Does this answer your question for you? Guest, it just restated that I said. I am just wondering how to access the QFS, but unless you are not ready to say it. OWS, we will tell you that you will know how to do this when that time is there. It will be presented to you and to the public of how to go about your exchanges, and these types of things. We cannot say more, though, at this time, because things are still somewhat in flux as the changes are moving forward. Guest, okay. Thank you. OWS, would there be other questions here? Guest, yes, one who serves. Could you just get a little more detailed on us light workers who still have money in our banking accounts? Would it behoove us to pull as much of the cash out as we can and keep it safe in our homes or wherever, because that likely will just go away? Should we try to take as much out as we can because we will lose that money in the bank? OWS, we think we have already answered that question in the previous question here. You need to simply follow your own guidance as to how to prepare. But know that in your preparing, do not have fear of what is occurring. Just follow your guidance and you will be led in the way that you need to be so here. You are not forgotten here. Just know that. You are very much protected throughout this transition. Okay? Guest, thank you. OWS, would there be other questions here? Guest, yes, I have a question. OWS, yes? Guest, there is a technology before, and we know it's basically agnostic, depending on who's using it for what intention. However, with that said, ChatGPT is an AI that's spreading like incredible wildfire across the public, across business, across everything. I've engaged with it a little bit, and I do believe it's coming from the dark side. So, is it a Trojan horse in that, like everything else offered by the dark side, is it kind of a trap to suck you in? I hate to say this, but in my 3D illusion, when something seems too good to be true, it often is, based on my experience. So my question is is ChatGPT an IA that has become very, very popular? Is it a trap? Is there anything that we should be aware of? Is there anything that you would caution about this? OWS, without speaking directly about the exact thing that you are asking about here, we will talk more in a general form here. And yes, you already know that AI, as you are saying it, can be for the positive or for the negative. It can be for the light or for the dark, depending on who is using it and for what purpose. So just as that of your various cryptocurrencies were not exactly what many thought they would become. And many of you were given that guidance within you in the beginning, knowing to not invest in that particular currency because it is not stable, as you are finding now. So it is very similar to other things that are going to be introduced, or have already been introduced that are yet, as you are saying, a part of the dark side plan here. But know that that dark side plan will be defeated in every way you can think about it as the transition continues on. Okay? Guest, thank you very much. OWS, very good. Would there be any other questions here? Guest, yes, I have a question. You're talking about the additional energies coming into the planet. For the last little bit, I have had ringing in the ears, vibrations around my head, and I'm aware of this while it's happening. So I just want confirmation that that is what it is. OWS, you are certainly, just as many on this call, if not all of you, are adapting to the energies. And these have been called the ascension symptoms up until now. You can still continue to call them that, but know that these energies that are coming in are changing your very DNA processes within you, and have been doing that for some time. But it will become more and more prominent as these times continue on, or, more importantly, as the vibrations continue to increase as you move on. Okay? Guest, okay. Thank you so much. OWS, yes. Would there be any other questions? Guest, yes. OWS, yes. Guest, many of us question these really scary creatures in the inner earth that have made alliances with various governments to do not really good things to humanity and so forth. I guess they've been in the deep underground bases, and they are pretty big and pretty scary. I'm not afraid of anything, but I have a feeling if I saw one in front of me, I might have a twinge of fear. So can you tell us how are these individuals being dealt with to get them out of here and off the planet? OWS, first of all, dear one, if you had a personal confrontation with one of those, you would have much more than a little twinge of fear. Just so you know this. But also know, at the same time, you have nothing to fear. Because first of all, you will not come in contact with them. And they are in the process of being completely eliminated from the planet, from within the planet, and certainly above the planet, as they are no longer allowed to come from other systems to this planet at this time, have been held back from coming here for some time. So all that you are dealing with now, you being the collective you of the planet, is those that are already here. And they are the ones being eliminated. Their population is dwindling more and more and more. Now also understand that not all of those, though, are what you would call the dark side, or evil, or anything of this nature. Some of them, many of them, have indeed turned to the light rather than to decide to be consumed by the light. So everything is in process of working out. Your alliance, those of the white hats as you call them, are very much aware of these beings and are doing everything they can to eliminate the chaos, the confusion, and the fear, and all that they have brought, especially in those deep underground military bases as you say. Those are in process of completely being cleaned out. But know that there were many of those bases. But they are certainly in process of being eliminated, or changed over, as we say, into the light. Okay? Guest, yes. Thank you so much for that reassurance. Yes, I'm sure I would be rather terrified. OWS, would there be any other questions before we release channel? Guest, yes, I have a question. OWS, yes? Guest, is CERN now in the hands of the White Hats? OWS, will tell you that which you call CERN is not to be of a concern at this time. Okay? We cannot tell you more than that right now. But it is not something to have any fear about whatsoever. Guest, all right. Okay, thank you. OWS, yes. We do need to release channel here now. The energies from the Ashtar were quite heavy on this one, so we need to release. Before we do, we just say continue to shine your light, whether consciously or unconsciously, wherever you go. Shanti. Peace be with you. Be the one. Channeled by James McConnell.